So a warm welcome to all the parents. There might be new students in the class or new parents. So I'll have a quick introduction of myself so that you will know who is talking to you and who is conducting the session. Because last year's grade 1, those who had taken admissions, we never had a chance to meet. So I'm Mrs. Nivedita Madkikar. I am the academic director of the school since its inception. That means from 2011. So I know every brick of the school and every classroom. I have been in this field for about 45 years. Maybe some of you were not even born. That is the time I began my journey as a teacher. And working for 15 years as a math science teacher, then I took over as a principalship. I was in Saudi Arabia as an international school principal. 15 years I worked as a principal, and after that, more than about 12 to 13 years as a director, setting up schools. So, this is who I am for the school. And Lok Seva e-School is actually, I feel it is my baby. I love the school very much, and I definitely don't want the school to be harmed in any way. I'm very, very emotional about Lok Seva e-School. So, parents, this was my short introduction. Today we are gathered here for an orientation. Okay, some has already asked for the recording. Yes, recording is going on. We will be sharing the link once all the orientations are over. Class wise, I will be sharing the link so that those who have missed out can go through the video, Zoom video, which I'll be uploading for you, maybe on the website, and we will send you the links. So here we are for an orientation program. Yours is the entry level to the school. So I would request all parents to mute their audios so that we do not get any disturbance. Kavita ma'am, I think
Yes.
your audio is also making some. Yes, very good. Thank you. Uh, Before I begin and start sharing the screen, I have made a few teachers the co-host. So in case there is any issue when I'm presenting, you can talk to me. You can tell me that, ma'am, your screen is not visible or you're not heard, whatever. So I do expect a little interaction from all the teachers so that in case at any point of time the screen is not visible or my audio is not proper, then please let me know. So once again, a very warm evening to all of you. I'll be sharing my presentation and I'll be telling you what is the agenda for today's orientation program. Now, your children have now seen some different normal of life. Last year, we began well thinking that, we'll have a very good class strength and we will have students coming into the school. And that is the fun of having a school. But sadly, we had the first wave which hit us, and rest is all history. I think you know about it. This year, somewhere in the month of February, we thought that, okay, things are getting better, and maybe we can begin the school in April. But yet, the second wave hit, and it did hit quite badly. And therefore, again, we are back to the new normal. And the new normal is virtual, online classes. And whether we like it or not like it, we have to have screen time for the children. Though we feel bad about it, because teaching in the classroom with lots of students around and their musty is something which we all miss. And I'm sure all students are going to miss. Your children are of that age that very soon they might even forget where their school exists. So I feel this should stop, and as soon as possible, we should be opening the school. Let's hope the third wave come back like a tsunami, and we should be back to school by at least by December. So the ending of the year should be physical and offline. So hoping for the best, keeping us fingers crossed. Let me now begin with my presentation, the actual orientation. Orientation in schools is usually done so that the parents know that throughout the year, what do they expect? How will the school run? What are the different types of books that the school wants the children to have? And of course, it is a journey for 21-22, though it is a short journey which I'll be showing you. So allow me to my screen and I'll be taking you through the presentation. Can I ask all the parents to mute so that we don't have disturbances? Is the screen properly visible, Kavita ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. So the curtain is drawn and we have used technology to become a little more dramatic. So here goes the curtain for you. And what we have behind the curtain is Lok Seva e-School, Parent Orientation 2021-2022. May I please request everyone to mute themselves because there is disturbance. Thank you. Thank you so much. So parent orientation, grade 1, grade 2. So we have students and parents of grade 1 and grade 2. Kavita ma'am, you can mute the people who have unmuted themselves. Parents, please oblige us. See that you do not have your mics on, because sometimes we hear what is going on behind your uh, behind where you're sitting. So let's have all the mics turned off, Kavita, including yours.
Hmm.
Thank you. So we begin this orientation where I thought that I would like to share a few thoughts and good quotes with all the parents. So before I read this, there are children who I think who are scratching the screen. See that this does not happen. It disturbs the presentation in between. Kavita ma'am, can you please mute yourself
Yes, ma'am. I think your side you have to do. Okay.
from my side?
Hmm.
Is it? Fine. Am I audible now? Yes. So
Hmm.
behind every young child who believes in himself is a parent who believed first. I think all of you as young parents will agree with this, that you have first believed in yourself, and that is why you are very sure that your children will believe in themselves. And further on, there's a small poem which I wanted to read to you, and it is a very touching poem which talks about a child to love. I'm sure you will agree with every word that is spoken here. So here we go. You can have your own wealth and riches, all the things so many seek, position, power, and success, the fame you long to keep. You can earn as much as you wish, reach a status high above, but none of these can equal having one sweet child to love. I think all parents must have realized that yes, having one sweet child by your side cannot equal anything in this world. It's the greatest gift from heaven. Little arms that hold you tight, and a kiss so soft and gentle when you tuck them in at night. And I'm sure when you put your children to bed in the evening, because your children are yet small enough in the age group of 6 to 8, so they do require you tucking them into bed. And I'm sure that gives you the basic satisfaction of being a parent. So we begin with academic year 21-22, and I'll be taking you through the agenda now. There are 4 major points that we are going to look into. The first is the much talked about NEP, that is National Education Policy 2020. I'm just going to take you through a brief journey of the new education policy, as much as a parent you should know. I can't go into details because that's not required for you to know. The basic things that you require to understand about the new education policy, I'll be quickly browsing through it. Then we'll be talking about the curriculum, and then assessment, evaluation, events, and activities. So this is the agenda for today's orientation program. So I'll begin with the first point, NEP 2020. Now on the screen, you can see University Education 1948. So it is a very clear indication that this is something which began after India got independence in 1947. Till then, we were ruled by the British schools. And if you remember, maybe your grandparents or parents who may be my age, no, sorry, maybe earlier than my age, that means great grandparents, also possible. And they must have gone through the senior Cambridge system, which is actually the UK based curriculum. After that, when India got independence, a new education policy for India was expected. And this began in 1948 as University Education Commission. Then in 1952, the University Education Commission further went to speak about Secondary Education Commission in 1952. After that, that means there was no policy set up during this time. It was only a commission which gave its suggestions. Then in 1964, Dr. D.S. Kothari was the first one who proposed a national policy on education, which came into play or existence in 1968. After that, there was a big gap. 42nd constitutional amendment happened in 1976. I just want to emphasize on a few points over here. 1968, this was the year when I passed my matriculation, and that was 11th standard. 4 years later than that, this matriculation exam, which was for 11th standard, then now turned to 10th standard. So 10th was the board, and after that we had 4 years of college. So this is how the whole education system started changing from 1970 onwards. Then in 1976, the 42nd constitutional amendment was done, and education came under the concurrent list. That's a major thing. Then in 1986, the second policy on education was declared, that was called NPE. Now, after 1986, no new policy was made on education at all. That means after 34 years, we have got a new education policy. That's a long time. And that is why this policy is much, much talked about. People are talking about the NEP 2020 in large numbers. And there's a big change, a drastic change that we do expect now in our scenario. Because I am sure you must have been hearing these words. The education system has to change. The system is not right. Now, we are going to change the system. And it will be such a great pleasure to have a system which will be parallel with the 21st century skills. Then in 1992, this was NPE was modified. Not much was said. The program of action was declared in 1992, and after that, not much was done in the education sector at all. Now, when the new government came in 2014, they were expected to give a national policy on education. So the work began, which was expected to be declared in 2015. The first committee report, that is TSR Subramaniam Committee report, came in on 27th May 2016. Now, let me tell you, this was promptly rejected. This committee report was rejected. Another committee was set up, and Dr. K. Kasturirangan committee report was declared on 31st May 2019. Now, the major reason for rejection of these committee reports was that preparing a policy on education had people who never held a chalk and duster in their hand. They were either from the minister cadre or they were higher educationists who were sitting in the committee. So the report was rejected, and then began the journey of school teachers. So from May 2019 to 2020, for an year, every nook and corner of India, teachers were interviewed, their inputs were taken in, and then the new policy was shaped in 2020. That is why this 2020 NEP is very, very close to the heart of teachers, because teachers' involvement was maximum in preparing this policy. So now on the screen, you will see National Education Policy, how the journey began in 1986. That was the second policy that was declared, and it was called NPE, National Policy on Education. And you can see that in 1992, it was modified a little bit, and Right to Education Act came in 2009, whereby every children had the right to education, and all schools were supposed to give 25% of their seats to the people who either were below the poverty line or who were underprivileged. So this RTE Act came in existence in 2009. Now, this policy laid a lot of stress on access and equity. That means the availability and fairness of education. But in on July 29, 2020, NPE changed to NEP. National Policy on Education changed to National Education Policy, and it laid a lot of stress on quality education, both in schools and in higher education. So this was the gist. Now, there are 5 pointers which goes as the background of this policy and how we have to look at this policy. The Union Cabinet approved the policy on 29 July 2020. This was the day even our Prime Minister addressed the nation and spoke about the new policy. This was after a gap of 34 years, a very welcome change in the education. The National Education Policy is meant to provide an overarching vision and a comprehensive framework for both school and higher education across the country. Third point says the new NEP approved by the cabinet has not been presented in the parliament. It may take some time. The fourth point says it is the first education policy formulated by a BJP government and the first in the 21st century. We all know that we are in the 21st century and the third decade has begun. 2 decades from 2000 to 2010 and 2011 to 2020. Second decade is over. We have entered the third decade of 21st century, and this is the first policy which has come in this century. It is only a policy, remember, it's not a law. Implementation of this and its proposals depends on further regulations by definitely the states and also the center, because education is under the concurrent subject list. So this was the base why this policy and how this policy came into existence. Then in 1986, what were the outcomes of NEP 1986? There were 5 major outcomes. First was Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. I think all of you must have heard about Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. Then the midday meal scheme in all the government schools. Then Navodaya Vidyalayas and Kendriya Vidyalayas were given a lot of autonomy, and they are called as NVS and KV schools. And they basically follow the CBSE pattern. Then use of IT in education began in 1986. Now, in 2020, what are the changes? Now, parents, listen to this carefully because this is what we are going to face very soon. Kavita ma'am, Suruchi, so far so good? Can be heard properly? Screen can be seen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Now, the first point says universalization of education. Now, listen carefully, from preschool to secondary level with 100% gross enrollment ratio in school education by 2030. A very ambitious project this is. First time we have heard a national curriculum talking about preschool. So far, preschools never came under the ambit of any regulations. Preschools all over the city mushroomed and they were governed by their own rules. But now this is not going to happen. A regulatory system is being set up, and all preschools will also have to follow the rules and regulations that the school has to follow. The second point was to bring 2 crore out of open schooling system. Now, this is definitely moving forward with the UN. United Nations in 2015 declared 17 sustainable goals. And out of this, the fourth plan or the fourth goal was quality education. So all over the world, it's not only India, but all over the world, the fourth plan of UN, that is quality education, is being worked on. A major part of that is out of school children should be brought back to school. And that is a very, very important aspect of everyone's lives. The third point was, now this is important because we all come under this, the current 10+2 system, which is to be replaced by a new 5+3+3+4 curricular structure. So 10+2 has now branched out to 4 layers or 4 stages corresponding to the ages 3 to 8. This is where your children are. So that is the first stage, that is for 5 years. Then 8 to 11 is 3 years. that is grade 3 to 5. 11 to 14 age is 6, 7, 8, that is the 3-year course. And the last school level is fourth stage, 4 years, and it is for age 14 to 18, class 9 to class 12. Now, the next point is very clearly understood right from the first point. It will bring the uncovered age group of 3 to 6 years under school curriculum, which has been recognized globally as the crucial stage for development of mental faculties of a child. Now, this is a very, very important aspect. We have seen that during the pandemic, many children have missed out school, especially in the preschool area, ages 3 to 6. But research all over the world shows that maximum development of brain happens from age 3 to 6 years. So by the age of 6 years, a child has developed almost 85% of its mental faculties. And by the time the child reaches 8 years, 92 to 93% of the developmental of mental faculties take place. So a lot of emphasis is paid on now ECE, that is early childhood education. And you have just crossed that stage and you have entered the school stage. Parents of grade 1 and grade 2. It will have 12 years of schooling and 3 years of either Anganwadi or preschools. In metro cities, we'll be having preschools, nursery, LKG, UKG. The next important point, which shows in black and white, actually, your children will take another 9 to 10 years to understand what it is. Class 10 and 12 board examinations are going to be made easier. It's good news. It will be testing the core competency rather than looking at the memorized facts or rote learning. And all students will be allowed to give the exam twice in a year. Of course, your children are yet too small. They will also be coming under the ambit of 10th and 12th board examinations, maybe in the next decade after 2030. School governance is set to change. The new accreditation framework and an independent authority is to regulate both public and private schools. This is a very, very welcome stage for almost all the parents and all the schools who really work towards the development of the children. So this was the first page where 7 points for the NEP are covered, which are actually you should be knowing. And that is why for parents, this is what I could explain to you. The second page talks about foundational literacy and numeracy. Now, what is this? Literacy is actually language and communication skills, and numeracy is mathematical skills. So it is expected that by 2025, up to grade 5, all the children should have a lot of academic strength where literacy and numeracy is concerned. So a lot of stress is going to be paid on the language development and the mathematical skills, which are most important part of anyone's life. Second point here, a major change and a very welcome change is vocational education will start from class 6th and that too with internships. This is something which I think many students will be waiting for. If you see that in India, school life, hardly 5% of stress is paid on vocational education or skills required for vocational training. If you compare this with America, it is 50% of children in school who get vocational education. VE it is called. In Korea, which has given you Samsung, Hyundai, and so many different products. 96% of school children undergo vocational training in the school years. So, our country now also believes that vocational education has to begin, and it has to begin at the right age, that is class 6, that is 11th year onwards. So, this is a big, drastic change in our new system now. And you will see all the effects within the next 5, 6 years. Because if you see in India, most of the companies, if you ask them, the CEOs of companies, they will say from the age group of 19 to 25, sometimes to 28 also, the youths are actually not employable because they do not possess the skills that are required for all the industries. So this will be a big major change and a big hit with students as well as companies. Third point is teaching up to at least grade 5 in the mother tongue. But for English medium school like ours, we are not going to do it in Marathi. It will be in English only. It doesn't change for our school. The next point, very important, is assessment reforms. There is a 360-degree holistic progress card which will be prepared. So every child, the school will be maintaining a proper portfolio of the child, beginning from his or her entry into the school till the exit. So this holistic progress card will later on be linked to a credit bank. And I may tell you this, the IITians are working on the credit bank system where a child can have his or her own account in form of credits, of course not in money, but in credits depending on his academic achievements. Then a new and comprehensive national curriculum framework for teacher education. Now this is the most trying and testing time for teachers because a lot of trainings they will have to undergo throughout the year. And if you see around you, if you are on the WhatsApp group, you will realize that every day some or the other webinar or some or the other training for teachers is going on all across the country. And this will be beginning in 2021, that is this year, with the help of NCERT and NCTE, that is National Council for Teacher Education. And by 2030, the minimum degree qualification for a teacher to teach in the school will be a 4-year integrated B.Ed degree course. When I did my B.Ed, that was in 1975, it was 1-year B.Ed course. We never had any entrance exams. After that, lately, I think the last 5-7 years ago, it became 2 years and there was entrance test for B.Ed. Now, it will be a 4-year integrated B.Ed degree course. Therefore, a teacher who takes up the profession of a teacher has to be very serious about her own choice. So, a teacher has to be a teacher by choice and not by force. And this is what the new policy also suggests. So, let's move forward and understand the new academic structure. Now on my screen, you will have, 2 columns where there are blocks. So if I take the first block, it is the existing academic structure. You will see 3 layers over here or 3 blocks. The first is the blue one, which is completely blank. The second is the black one, which says 10 years and age 6 to 16. And the third is 2 years, age 16 to 18. So we are catering till now The existing academic structure caters to age 6 to 18. That is 10 plus 2 system, which we were following so far. This clearly indicates that there is nothing to say about the pre-primary education. Now we go to the new academic structure, which is 4 layers now. You will see 4 layers, and we are going to follow this now. The first layer you see is again divided into 2 tiers. It is 3 plus 2. So 3 years of preschool and 2 years of the primary school, that is class 1 and 2. This is exactly where your children are now in this new academic structure, age 6 to 8. After you complete this, so students of grade 2, when they go to grade 3, it will be a 3-year structure. Now, these 5 years is called foundational stage, and there is a big change in the pedagogy of teaching. You will see that this foundational stage is going to lay a lot of stress on multi-level, and also play and activity-based learning will be the focus. Now, when they enter the next stage, that is green in color, it's called the preparatory stage. Now here, besides playway and activity-based, discovery and interactive classroom learning will be focused on. The pedagogy changes here, it gets upgraded. After they finish 3 years of this preparatory stage, they enter another 3 years, which is called middle stage. Now here there is a big leap in the pedagogy. Experiential learning. When I told you vocational courses, here we will have experiential learning in science, mathematics, arts, social science, humanities, which cover all the languages. So this will be called the middle stage. From the middle stage, they go to the last stage of the school like year, that is secondary stage, class 9 to class 12. So no longer you will have junior colleges across. It will be only school, no junior college, because junior college will be integrated into the school system only. And this secondary stage sees a big leap from experiential learning to multidisciplinary study and greater critical thinking, flexibility, and student choice of subjects. This is a very welcome change because we will not be having streams like commerce, arts, science. If a student wants to go in for the medicine and he does not want to take biology for the 11th or 10th, he'll be allowed to do so. And this is something which is going to be a major change in our education policy. So this was the academic structure which we are going to begin, and your children are in the first layer itself, that is foundational stage. So when people ask you which class is your child studying, you can say, if grade 1 can say it is 4th year of foundational, grade 2 students can say 5th year of foundational stage. So this is the change also in the terminology. Now, how is it going to be implemented? You can see here 3 rows. The first is early childhood education, and this is given in green. And I told you that a lot of stress is paid now on the preschool years, that is nursery, LKG, UKG. So if you have your friends around who are yet in the preschool age and they have not taken admission or are not studying, I think you should be telling them what you have just learned, that brain development for their children has already begun. They should not keep their children behind the scenes now. Now, the phase 1 for grade 1 students will begin this year. We are yet to receive the curriculum framework. As soon as this framework is received, the phase 1 for year 1 of pre-primary and 3 months preparatory module for class 1 student will begin. Now, by the time they reach 2023, the second phase of the primary school will begin. By this time, your children will have passed the foundational stage and they will be entering the middle stage. The preparatory stage. Now, this timeline actually is very important for children who are much more senior to your children. So you can see this year's present 9th standard class. So in 2021, this 9th standard class is going to see the change happening. So when they appear next year for the 10th board examination, the new board examination pattern will be set up for them. And as I said, that this is a pattern which is going to be much less stressful for the children because competency based assessments will be there. There won't be formative and summative assessment. So the whole board pattern will be changing for these students. Then by the time that is 2024-25, they reach the 12th standard, they will be the first batch to appear for the 12th standard new board pattern, which is in 2025. And then it moves on. So your children are right at the end here. So by the time they reach the stage of 9, 10, 11, 12, the last stage of school, they will have lots of experienced people ahead of them. So parents, you are on a very safe zone. Not much is going to change. Yes, the pedagogy of teaching will change, but you have yet another 8, 9 years to face the board, and your children by that time will be trained for the new education policy. So this was the implementation process. And the last slide for NEP is about PARAK. PARAK is a national center which is going to be formed so that it has performance assessment, review, and analysis of knowledge for holistic development. In short, PARAKH. Now, this will be a major change in the assessment of our country. This PARAK will be handling two things: assessments. Now, all parents plus understand that so far we had formative and summative assessment schemes. But now you will see there is a shift towards competency based assessment. And a lot of training for teachers are going on for competency based assessments because these assessments are going to take into consideration how your child is learning. So, as per the multiple intelligence theory of Howard Gardner, these competency based assessments will follow the pattern of multiple intelligence, and your child will be able to learn according to his or her own pace. So there is a major change in regards with assessment. And what all PARAK will see is it will promote critical and creative thinking, which is required as the 21st century skills. What are the objectives of PARAK? All over the country, we will be having standard norms and guidelines for assessments. This is a welcome change. So when your child goes for the professional courses after 12th standard, first of all, there will be a credit bank which comes from the school level. So he or she can use the credit levels. Secondly, it will not depend on whether you are from the SSC board or from the CBSC or ICSC or IGCSE or IB board. There will be a common standard which will be followed all across the country. A lot of stress is going to be paid on the surveys, state achievement surveys and national achievement surveys. Our surveys for schools will begin shortly, and we will also have a survey in which we know how our children are achieving their targets. And the last point for this is monitoring achievement of learning outcomes. Now, those who are teachers know very well what is the meaning of learning outcomes. Learning outcomes and learning objectives are two very important aspects of lesson plans. So, when a teacher makes lesson plans, first of all, she should know what is the objective of teaching this lesson to the students. And she has to also know that after she finishes this lesson, what were the learning outcomes? That means, what should the child be able to do after this lesson is over? And those who would like to see what is the exact meaning of learning outcomes, you can go on the site, CBSE site, cbse.academics.net.in. And if you click for learning outcomes, you will get booklets and pages and pages of learning outcomes for every subject, every chapter. So this was NEP for you in a nutshell. So I'm sure parents, you will welcome this NEP 2020 because it is going to be a drastic change in our national education that is happening all around. So welcome to NEP 2020. We have finished the first point. Now I'll be beginning with the curriculum and syllabus. So far last year, grade 1 students, we had followed the Pradeep curriculum. This curriculum was actually devised by our very own teachers. So Kavita ma'am over here, Padma Marda, these were all names who sat for days and days together, and they have devised this curriculum that you see in the pre-primary section of Lok Seva. It's a properly designed curriculum. And if you have actually gone through it, if it was offline schools, you would have understood the importance of that. It is a wholesome curriculum which makes your child ready for grade 1, because from the preschool coming to grade 1, that is the primary school, is a big jump for the children, because we treat them neither as small kids and neither as grown up. So for them, the concept of classroom, subject teacher, looking at the board, writing from the board, looking into the notebook, writing from the textbook, all these concepts are new to them. So you must have a lot of patience with grade 1 students, because they are just learning how to accommodate themselves in the primary section. So parents of grade 1 children, be very patient with your children, because the concept of subject and subject teacher, they just don't know. So you have to be patient. Teachers have to be very patient. And we definitely know that for them to look at the screen and write down is not possible. So we are going to find out ways in which your children will learn and learn the right way. So all grade 1 students and parents, have patience with the teachers also, have patience with the children also. Grade 2, you have already passed the grade 1 stage, but unfortunately, it was during the pandemic, and your children definitely have missed out quite a few things that they would have learned if it was a physical school. So you also need to be you have to show a lot of patience to your children, because last year, whatever we have tried to do, we definitely do not claim that 100% learning has happened. So this year, our endeavor will be to see that maximum learning happens in the classroom. We cannot waste one more year, because the brain activity, brain development of your children, by the time they finish the second grade, will be reaching the maximum level, that is 92 to 93%. So let us focus on what is there and how we have to do it. So the curriculum and syllabus, I'm going to speak about first the subjects, because from pre-primary, 4 subjects, now we come to almost 7 subjects. Now CBSE, since we are a CBSE school, we have 2 types of subjects over here. It is scholastic subjects, which are marked and then graded, and then co-scholastic subjects, which are graded subjects. So scholastic subjects are actually the core subjects, and which includes English as the first language, Hindi is the second language, Marathi is the third language. So we are going to begin with Marathi. Last year for grade UKG, we had already Hindi, and now we are also introducing Marathi, because CBSE also goes for 3-language pattern. So 3 languages, since it is in Maharashtra, we are using Marathi as the third language. Then 4th subject is mathematics, also called as numeracy or number work in the lower grades. Then we have science and social studies, which is integrated as EVS, that is environmental studies, and ICT. So you will have 6 subjects to study in grade 1 and 2. Post-scholastic subjects include at least 2-3 more, but since it is the pandemic year once again, and too much of stress we can't pay, and that is why we are having only 4: music, dance, physical education, art and craft. Out of that, physical education and art and craft will be during school days, that is in the timetable. And very soon we will also be beginning the music and dance classes also. Whether we have to begin them online or offline, that is the call we'll have to take. So these are the 2 types of subjects for CBSE board curriculum. Now, what are we using? We are using a very, very wholesome curriculum from EDAC. EDAC is Essential School Pack, and it caters to quite a few subjects. So we have English, Hindi, mathematics, EVS, and ICT. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 subjects are looked after by EDAC. Why we have taken this curriculum? Because the pedagogy of teaching all these subjects will remain the same. So it will be easier for teachers and much more easier for students to understand what they have in store in their books and what they have to learn. The only change is Marathi, because EDAC does not deal with Marathi. So we are using Saptarang Saraswati publication, Marathi book. So for grade 1, it is beginning with Barakhadi and what they have learned, Swar and Vyanjan. In Marathi, they will be learning. Hindi, already we expect them to know the Varnamala. But nonetheless, Hindi and Marathi will begin with Barakhadi and a lot of writing work for the children, which will be done in the workbooks. Now, let me tell you, this year, the workbooks for English, Hindi, Maths, EVS, and ICT, there is one course book and there are 2 workbooks. ICT will have only 1 workbook, but the other 4 subjects are going to have 2 workbooks, 1 per term. So it will be the course book, also called as concept book, and 2 workbooks. So in your kit, when you get your course material kit, I think most of you have purchased it, you will see English 3 books, Hindi 3 books, Maths 3 books, EVS 3, and ICT maybe 2 books. Marathi, there is for grade 1, there is no workbook. The book itself is a workbook for Saptarang, book 1. For grade 2, we'll have a workbook also. Art and craft will be done by Orange Craft Kit, which has a drawing as well as a craft book. Also, the craft material is included in this kit. So the parents need not go out to buy anything for craft when the Orange Craft kit is given to them. And for grade 1, we would definitely want them to take Collins Junior Illustrated Dictionary because we are going to pay a lot of stress on communication development this year. So these were the textbooks, and this is for grade 2, that was for grade 1. Grade 2, Saptaranga Patya Pustak and Abhyas Pustika. That means this is a workbook. So grade 2 will have one Marathi book and one course book and one workbook. And these are the uh, notebooks that have been given. Now you will see that we have cut down quite a few notebooks since the last 2 years because we are using workbooks. So 4-line, that is red and blue with a gap, 4-lined books, notebooks, 100 pages. 5 will be telling you for which subjects we are going to use it. For mathematics, we have 2, 1 for per term. It should be half-inch squared books. So see that you get the half-inch squared books. It is in between the 1-inch square and the 1 centimeter square. Then for Hindi and Marathi, we are going to use 5-lined notebooks. So they have to learn to write between the 2 lines in between and then 3 lines, sorry. So we have 5-lined books. So 4-line books for English, EVS, ICT will be using 4-line. For Hindi and Marathi, we are going to use 5-line books. Then we have a rough book, which is 200 pages. It is mixed. So you will have 4 lines and 5 lines and also squares in that. Then there is a scrapbook, which can be used for integrated project. And there will be a label sheet. So this is what you are going to, or you have already received as course material for grade 1 and grade 2. Now, so far so good, Kavita? Suruchi?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yes.
So, nobody has fallen asleep. All are awake,
No,
including
ma'am. Everybody.
because for me, I am talking to a blind screen. I can't see anyone. It's a still screen. Doesn't matter. Okay. Now on the screen, you will see 3 columns, but we are now going to focus only on the last column, that is books. So the EDAC books that we have are well-researched curriculum. It's a very well-researched curriculum, and pedagogy that they use, methodology they use is really excellent. It's one of the best curriculums that I have seen all across. Teachers have complete teaching plans given to them. That means they know or they are taught that if they have to teach a particular topic, how will they do it as an introduction? How will they go into the complete lesson? How they will end the lesson? What is the recapitulation they will do? What is the assignment, the homework? Everything has been spelled out for the teachers. So it is a very, very wholesome curriculum. And this year, for the next 3 years, 100%, we are not going to change this curriculum at all, unless and until they go out of the market. But what I have seen is they are becoming stronger and stronger in the school market. So I'm sure that this curriculum has a lot to give, not only to teachers, but also to students. And also, parent involvement is very much required in this curriculum, EDAC curriculum. So I'm talking about the books here. Also, we have three editions here. Besides the books, the workbooks, and the teaching plans, we also have board games. So when a teacher is teaching, she will be using a board game to introduce that lesson. So this is a very unique concept of EDAC with board games. Also, of course, the children will enjoy when they come to school, when we'll be giving them the board game on their tables, and they will be doing it, playing it together. But virtually, we are going to try our best that the board games can be played also on the e-learning platform. Along with that, there are manipulatives or badges which are given as rewards for the children. So they also have a learning platform which we will try to see that we can give it to the parents. Along with that, live classes, this we are not going ahead because live classes, they do it on Blue Button, and our teachers are not very well versed with Blue Button, just like Zoom. So we are not going ahead with live classes from EDAC. We are going ahead with MCB, which has also Zoom platforms for teachers, and teachers are very well versed with Zoom. They empower all the stakeholders, so right from teachers, students, school management, and parents, all are empowered by this curriculum. How and when and all this will be very well evident once we begin full-fledged with this curriculum. So what does EDAC stand for? E stands for engage, excite, and encourage. So in a teaching plan, if a teacher sees E2 given, it means this concept is excite. So you have to excite the children. If it is E3, it means this topic is going to encourage the children. Similarly, if it is A1, that means when they are teaching, they have to remember that students have to assimilate. And if it is C3, that means students have to create for themselves. So this is a very wonderful philosophy of EDAC, and I'm sure parents and children, both, you are going to enjoy this curriculum. So what are the potentials for a child? You can see 3 tiers over here. The first says experiential learning. I think this word came in the NEP. So experiential learning. Actually, I teach and I do are very good concepts of EDAC. I am going to keep it as a secret just now for you because when your children actually start doing it, it will be a big surprise for you. And then we have activity-based learning happening. And what are the skills that are developed? Communication skills, socio-emotional skills. No rote learning is ever promoted here. It also looks after the slow learners. Then we come to the second tier, which says self-learning and assessment, where quizzes, assignments, videos, and LSRW. LSRW stands for languages, communication, listening, speaking, reading, and writing. And this is self-learning and assessment, where you will see that the child has more retention power. A continuous assessment happens, and a child can learn at his or her own pace. So what I said, competency-based is here. Competency-based assessments will happen. And there are also engagement and rewards. So there are grade reports, there are badges or manipulatives, and rewards and recognitions, continuous evaluation will be happening. So these are the potentials for a child through EDAC. And for parents, what is it? Language proficiency report and skill-based reports will be given to you through EDAC. Continuous evaluation, review, and reports and evidence-based outcomes are going to be given to the parents. Easy communication and collaboration with school will happen. Parents and school will have an easy communication, and year by year performance of a child can be seen very, very clearly. So this was EDAC for you. So the second point, that is curriculum and syllabus, we have covered. Now, two important aspects are left, and we are almost coming to the end of the orientation. Upcoming circulars and information and how they are going to be shared. So, first thing is by 21st June, you will get the school planner. In this planner, you will come to know the dates of the examination, the activities, the events happening in school, the Diwali vacation, the Christmas vacation, the all the other exams, everything will be in this school planner. I'm calling it tentative, but I'm quite sure I need not change anything, because even if the government directives change and we come to school, events will remain the same. Only instead of having it online, we will have it offline, but everything will remain the same. Then instructions for notebooks and workbook checking will be given to you by 16th of June. Then examination details will be shared by 23rd of June. So these are 3 dates that you are supposed to remember, and we will be sending you proper instructions for all the 3 categories that I have mentioned over here: planner, checking of notebooks, and examination details. Now we come to the parents' role. Parent Teacher Association PTA will be declared on 15th of June. The executive committee, or what we call as the representatives of a class, you will receive a Google form through a notice. Those who would like to nominate themselves to work along and side by side with the school, that is, being the class representative of their particular class, are most welcome to fill the Google form, send it to us. The nominations will be received by us, and we will have a very proper system of forming the executive committee, which will be telecasted live either on Facebook or on YouTube. This will happen by 26th of June. You will receive proper communication for that. And of course, parent teacher meetings, that is PTMs. The first PTM may be held, I don't know if possible, but it will be definitely the Zoom platform where one-to-one can be arranged. So if a parent has to meet the teacher, only that parent can be scheduled for a particular slot of maybe 10 or 15 minutes. So you need not have to wait in the waiting room to get inside to meet the teacher. It will be only you who will directly contact the teacher. And this is something in MCB that we'll be doing. And that is why we have shifted from Admission 24 to the MCB platform. So what are the deadlines for the Parent Teacher Association? Oh my God, I see a lot of scratching. Who is the one who doesn't like my screen? Please remove all the scratches from my screen, please, parents. It's very disturbing to see children. I hope they are children, they are not parents who are scratching. Okay. And 26 June, the formation of executive committee will take place. And this is for the parents to remember. So we have 5 dates to remember: 15th June, 16th June, 20th, 21st, and 26th. So this month, we are going to be ready for the whole year to begin in the most proper and systematic manner. Now we go to the communication of parents. Suruchi ma'am, is it possible to remove these scratches from the screen? Actually, the parent can remove it himself or herself. Please try it out. Okay. Now, communication with parents is definitely going to improve this year, because we have the grade-wise Kaizala groups. So let me give you a little details of this, but Kavita ma'am will be giving you all the instructions for the Kaizala group. Kaizala group is another chat group just like WhatsApp, but it has many more features. Thank you. Thank you for removing all the scratches. Kaizhala is a group. I think many of you have already joined it. Those who haven't have to join. The reason is we had to create for 21, 22 more sections. So the number of sections for grade 1 is at present 2 sections, A and B. The third section will be beginning once the RT admissions are done. Grade 2 has 4 sections. So the students are divided in 40s. So we have less number of students in the class now. So that is why I have said we'll be telling you how the notebooks and the workbooks are going to be checked by the teachers. So grade-wise Kaizhala groups are in the making. Many of you must have already joined with all the instructions given by the coordinators. This Kaizhala group has got lot of features, which are excellent features, much better than the WhatsApp. And only thing is, please see that these groups are used for official purposes. These are not personal chat groups. Kavita ma'am will be instructing you about it. MCB is My Class Board, and this is a very well-known ERP system, not only in India, but also across the world in many schools. So My Class Board is an ERP system which has promptly begun with a learning platform, that is the Zoom. They have Zoom, Google Meet, and Microsoft Teams, but we have chosen the Zoom platform. So these are in this MCB, you will have communications very directly to you as a parent from the teacher, from the school. In the MCB, you have a diary, just as you have a diary in school. You have a diary which is given subject wise. So the homework and classwork will be shared with you. How to share it, the teachers are going to be instructed and they'll be doing it every day with you. Also, there is one more module called as assignments, in which the teachers can also click photographs and send you attachments, or the parent wants to send some attachment to the teacher for correction, can also do so. So this is what the communication will be. And I do assure you that this year you will see a very, very proper system of communication in Lok Seva e-school. Moving ahead, very few pointers, because discipline at this juncture is not in our hands, it is with you. Children are with you at home. So there are a few pointers that I would like to give. The first one is 85% of attendance rule will be strictly followed this year. So please see that your children attend the classes. Students must attend the online classes at least wearing the school t-shirt. I do not want you to go and buy the whole uniform, but only the sea green t-shirt. If your child wears and sits in the classroom, I think that will give a lot of boost to the teachers, because they would love to see the children sitting in front of the camera wearing the school uniform. And then all assignments which are given by the teachers must be submitted as per the deadlines. So let us teach our children to be organized, to be disciplined. And therefore, as parents, we do request you to pay a lot of attention on the submissions. Then code of conduct, of course, only 4, not many. All students must attend classes regularly. In case your child is absent for a session, a proper communication from parents is expected, so that we keep a note of all children and their attendance and presence on the online platform. This year, we are going to be very, very organized, and we'll be a little more stricter on how the students are in the classrooms. Students must switch on their cameras. Of course, your children are small, but yes, today technology is in their hands. So I think they know much better than what we know. switching on their cameras and switching off the cameras is something which they can do very well. So if a teacher asks a student to switch on the camera, I think the students must oblige. And if any question is asked, it should be answered. I'm sure the age group 6 to 8 are so enthusiastic, they do not require to be told to switch on and off. Because for them, talking in the class is something that they enjoy. So we have come to the end of the session. And before we end, there are two quotes that I would like to share with you. You are all young parents, and I'm sure these quotes will mean a lot to you. Parents, it is not what you do for your children, but what you have taught them to do for themselves that will make them successful human beings. And that is why I say that we have to teach our children to be organized, because that is what is going to be a successful human being later on, says Anne Landers. And the last one, which is effective parenting, which I thought I should share with you, is focus more on who your child is rather than what your child does. Because we have a very bad habit of asking our children, what did you do in the class? What did the teacher do? What did your friend do? So, this is something we should avoid, because we have to remember we are growing a person, an individual. We are not fixing a problem, says L.R. Nost, and very rightly said. So I'm sure parents, young parents like you, will definitely understand what I'm trying to tell you. So here is a big thank you to all of you for listening to this orientation relentlessly without any disturbance. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I would now ask Kavita ma'am to take over. She will be introducing the teachers who will be teaching the grade 1 and grade 2. Teachers will introduce themselves. Along with that, if we have a lot of questions, we are saving this recording. So whatever questions can be answered in the Kaisala group, I will be giving the answers to the coordinators. And within a week, you can get all your queries and questions sorted out. So once again, a big thank you. And over to you, Kavita ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank, thank you, ma'am. Good evening,
Kavita, your voice is breaking, I think so.
ma'am, all parents, teachers, and my lovely students. Welcome to all of you. My name is the coordinator in this academic year. Thank you, parents, for your cooperation and support last year. Expecting the same this year also. Thank you, parents. Now, like, please note down some important pointers. Okay, so I would like to discuss with you that first one is on Kaizala. Please exit okay on Kaizala app and join particular group. In which group your child, in which section your child is there. Okay, with his name or her name. Teacher and you will get on MCB. I'm getting so many messages from parent. We don't get any credential MCB. We don't have any ID password for MCB. So don't get panic for that. You will get very soon that. Okay. Now about if you have not received MCB credential, get in the process of making changes in MC in coming week from 14 to 18. The classes will be held on Zoom. From one day very advanced. The schedule of the session will be shared on Kaizhala. Try to avoid unwanted message on official group. Please note down these important pointers. It is very helpful for us and for you also. Okay. Thank you, parents. Thank you. Thank you for being with us. Now, I would like to call teachers' name one by one. They will give their introduction. Okay. So first, Mrs. Gauri Joshi. Mrs. Gauri Joshi.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, Kavita ma'am also. Good evening, parents and all my colleagues. First I want to say I'm very happy to see all my students, their happy faces. So I think I'm coming back to school tomorrow. So I'm Mrs. Gauri Joshi. I have completed my MSc in Analytical Chemistry, and along with that I've done a diploma in counseling. In all, I'm having 12 years of experience in teaching field. From last 5 years, I am with Lok Seva family. And this year, I'll be a class teacher of second A, and I'll be teaching English subject for second A, B, and first A and B. Thank you very much. And I'm very eager to see my kids, children, see you tomorrow. Thank you, ma'am.
Preeti Rane. Preeti Rane.
शुभ संध्या, आदरणीय निदेशक महोदया, आदरणीय समन्वय कोऑर्डिनेटर कविता मैम, मेरे सभी अध्यापक और अध्यापकाओं में और सभी उपस्थित अभिभावकों को मेरा सादर प्रणाम। मेरा नाम प्रीति राणे है। मैं
Yes. We cannot see you on the screen.
No, we can see. I can see her on the screen. Yes, Preeti. I think she can continue. Continue, Preeti.
Preeti, yes, you can continue.
शुभ संध्या, आदरणीय निदेशक महोदया, आदरणीय समन्वय कोऑर्डिनेटर कविता मैम, मेरे सभी अध्यापक और अध्यापकाओं और सभी उपस्थित अभिभावकों का मेरा सादर प्रणाम। मेरा नाम प्रीति राणे है। मैं पिछले 6 साल से लोक सेवा ई स्कूल में प्राथमिक अध्यापिका के रूप में कार्यरत हूँ। मुझे अध्यापन क्षेत्र में 7 सालों का अनुभव है और मैं वर्तमान में पहली कक्षा ए ही और दूसरी कक्षा ए को हिंदी मराठी पढ़ा रही हूँ। सभी को मेरा धन्यवाद और मेरे प्यारे बच्चों, हम कल क्लास में मिलते हैं। धन्यवाद।
Mamta Umar. This is Mamta Umar.
Hello. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, yes. Continue.
Yes.
Good evening, respected director, ma'am, respected coordinator, ma'am, dear student, dear teacher, and dear all parents. I would like to introduce myself. My name is Mamta Umar. I have been associated with Lok Seva family from last 3 years. This academic year, I will be teaching for mathematics subject grade 2C, 2D, grade 1, grade 1A and B, and I am a class teacher of section C, grade 2. Looking forward for a great year. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mamta ma'am. Mrs. Padma Marda.
Thank you, Kavita ma'am. Good evening, director ma'am and coordinator ma'am and all parents and my dear teachers and dear lovely students. I am Mrs. Padma Marda. I am having 13 years of experience in teaching, and I am working with Lok Seva from last 8 years. And for the academic year 21-22, I am the class teacher for grade 1B, and I will be teaching EVS for 1A and B. So really excited to meet you all kids tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Padma. Sarojini, Mrs. Sarojini Jogdan.
शुभ संध्याकाळ. आदरणीय डायरेक्टर मॅम, आदरणीय कोऑर्डिनेटर मॅम, शिक्षक वृंद, पालक वर्ग तसेच माझ्या प्रिय बालमित्रांना माझा नमस्कार. माझं नाव सरोजिनी जोगदंड आहे. मी इयत्ता दुसरा बी सी डी यांना हिंदी व मराठी हे विषय शिकवणार आहे. तर माझ्या मुलांना उद्या आपण भेटूया आणि धमाल करूया. धन्यवाद.
Thank you. Mrs. Yogita Patil.
Thank you, Kavita ma'am. Good evening, Director ma'am, my dear teachers, my dear colleagues, friends, and parents. Myself, Mrs. Yogita Patil, and I have total 8 years of experience of teaching, and I'm working with Lok Seva e-school from last 7 years. And this year I will be teaching to grade 2nd, and my subject is mathematics, and I hope for good academic year. Thank you all my dear parents and students. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Yogita ma'am. Mrs. Shubrata Patnaik.
Yes, happened.
Okay. Mrs. Suruchi Deshpande.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Mrs.
Subrata is there. Yes.
Yes, thank you, Kavita ma'am.
Yes.
Very good evening to our director ma'am, respected director ma'am, and our coordinator ma'am, and all my dear teachers, parents, and my dear students. Okay, so first of all, I would like to thank you, ma'am, to giving me this opportunity to introduce myself. Myself, Mrs. Shubrata Patnaik. I am working with Lok Seva e-school from last 2 years. I am having 7 years experience in this teaching field, and my qualification is MA B.Ed with English and Geography subject. And for this academic year, I am going to teach EVS subject for grade 2A and B. I am very glad today to see you all, and I am very eagerly waiting to see all my children in my class tomorrow onwards. All the best, children. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shubrata ma'am. Thank you. Mrs. Suruchi Deshpande.
Good evening, Director ma'am. Good evening, parents. Hello, children. My name is Suruchi Deshpande. I will be taking computer science, that is ICT, for grade 1 and 2 for all grades. I'm working with Lok Seva family from last 2 years. So we'll meet tomorrow. Looking forward for a great year ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Suruchi ma'am. So, Bhima Rathod. Bhima Rathod.
Bhima was there. What happened?
Okay. Good evening, respected director, ma'am, parents, teachers, and my little champs. Okay, my name is Bhima Rathod. I am taking classes of physical education for grade 1 and grade 2. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhima sir. Thank you. Mrs. Manisha Sinha. Manisha Sinha.
Hello. Thank you, Kavita ma'am. Good evening, director ma'am. Good evening, Kavita ma'am. And good evening, teachers, parents, and hello, children. So, myself, Mrs. Manisha Sinha. I am from Assam, and I completed my BSc in Botany Honors, and I have done my diploma in elementary education. I am working in Lok Seva school from last 2 years, and I am the class teacher of class second D, and I'm going to teach English and EVS subjects for class second C and second D. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Manisha ma'am. Mrs. Shubhangi Kulkarni. Mrs. Shubhangi Kulkarni.
Yes. Thank you, Kavita ma'am. Good evening, all. Respected director ma'am and respected parents, respected coordinator ma'am, and all my children and all my little ones. Okay. I would like to introduce myself. I am a Shubhangi Kulkarni and I am an art teacher for grade 1 and 2 for all sections. I have completed my MCOM and ATD. I am working with Lok Seva e-school from last 3 years. I know your favorite subject is art and you are waiting for art subject, yes? So we are eagerly waiting for you children, and tomorrow we will meet again again online. Yes? Happy? Okay, thank you ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Shubhangi ma'am. Now, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, all are done?
All teachers have given their entry. Yes, ma'am.
Just a few pointers. From tomorrow onwards, the classes will be. For this week, we are going to have on Zoom. The reason is we are migrating to MCB. Though Kavita ma'am was trying to explain, I think her voice was breaking. So that is why I thought I'll just include this in the parting speech. So from tomorrow onwards, for 5 days, we are going to be on the Zoom platform of the teacher. So the Zoom credentials will be shared along with the timetable every previous evening. So for tomorrow, today evening, you will get the timetable for tomorrow, the Zoom ID, and where you have to log in, what is the time. From next week, that is from 21st of June, we are going to have regular classes on MCB platform. So we will be migrating to MCB very soon. Accordingly, we'll have to see that all the children, all the parents know what is MCB. So we'll be sharing a PPT, one for the laptop and the desktop users, and one for mobile and tablet users. It will take you through the journey of how to get into the MCB platform. Login credentials, your username and ID will be, password will be shared with you. If it is not so far, don't panic. Everyone will get a proper information about how it is going to happen on the MCB platform. But from next week, that is 21st onwards, you will get a full timetable and the classes will be scheduled in the MCB, where when you open the app, you will see all the scheduled classes for your own class. But for this week, it will be Zoom. And I think everyone has understood how we are going to go ahead. I hope that this year will be a rocking year for everyone. All the class teachers and all those who are teaching, you will come to know when we start giving you the timetable. So parents, have a little bit of patience with us. You will come to know everything about the classroom, your teachers, and who is going to teach which subject very soon in the Kaizala group also. So wishing you a very happy evening, and I hope that you are all eagerly waiting for the classes to begin. And yes, we are eagerly waiting for the physical classes to begin so that we can see our children, we can hear the footsteps of the children, in our corridors. So thank you once again. Yes, you haven't received the timetable. I can see some chats coming up. You will receive it today evening. So maybe within an hour's time, after Kavita ma'am gets free, she will definitely put in all the timetables. So
Excuse me, ma'am. Already I have posted on Kaiser group.
Okay.
Timetable for tomorrow. Okay.
So please see that the Kaizala groups are all for proper communication. Okay. Thank you so much.